United States, craft breweries are on the rise. These local breweries are adding a unique twist to the beer drinking experience.
In other words, America's favorite drink just got crafty. Not your average beer enthusiasts, we set out to explore this new trend. And we're starting right here in our area.
On this episode, we welcome you
To East Windsor, Connecticut. We're at Broad Brook Brewing, a rustic brewery established in Connecticut's Tobacco Valley.
From garage dreams to a reality. 3 home brewers, Eric, Tom, and Joe, blended their talents together to create Broad Brook Brewing in 2013.
I always had an interest in beer, and then met Tommy through the angling club down in Broad Brook, and he was home brewing. He said, "Why don't you come on by the garage and stop by on one Sunday when he was brewing," and hung out for a little bit, and decided, a couple weeks later went back again, and then started being more regular, and next thing you know, it's like every Sunday and we're brewing, and I just jumped right into it. Probably around 2009, 2008, we were brewing in the garage, a couple of us down in Broad Brook actually, and spent a few years there brewing, and then shortly after that we started entering some competitions as home brewers and around the country, and started winning awards through those there. And then once we've been through that part of it, the local package store said, "You guys really are doing a pretty good job here." They said, "Well, why don't you, I'm having a festival type thing, why don't you come down and pour your beer here and see what the people's reaction is." And that was kind of the snowball and kind of the way it went, and then it just kept building and building from there until one day we decided, hey, I think we really have something, and Connecticut has a need for more breweries, so why don't we see if we can put this together and make it happen. And in 2013, we opened up, and that's where it all began. We have a 15-barrel system, and we're brewing about 3,000 barrels a year. That's our production side of it. We can and keg, and we cover all of Connecticut and Western Mass in distribution. And then we have our tap room right here, which seats about 50, 55 people or so, open Wednesday through Sunday, and works kind of more like a bar. You can come here, order a pint, or growlers to go, and we have a mug club and stuff like that. We package on demand, so we get our orders from our distributors, let's say on this Wednesday, and they're going to pick up Monday. So all of a sudden we know, all right, we need to make these many cases of this many kegs of this, logs of this, or whatever, get it all ready and go out the door. But we work 7 days a week here. So as far as production and stuff, we wait, when the beer is ready, we do what we need to package it and get it out. We don't work like 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. That's not the kind of atmosphere or job or workspace that this is. We just try to get everything out, fill all the orders, and just empty the tanks out, clean them, and fill them right back up again. So it's just a never-ending cycle.
Let's take a closer look at where the cycle begins.
I'd like to welcome you folks to Broad Brook Brewing Company. Right here, as you can see, this is where we store our grain. We have grain from all over the world here. England, America, Canada, Germany. We even have grain from Chile here. This is where we store our product after it's canned or kegged. A lot of times it'll be this high all the way out to here, waiting to go to a distributor. And right here we have our tap lines. These are the lines against the wall. And these four over here are growler filler. Very handy item, very nice to have. It's just like packaging beer in a bottle or can. It lasts indefinitely in your refrigerator. Where you pour it off the tap, you have 2, maybe 3 days before it goes bad. You can also see some of our hop storage here. Hops from all over, New Zealand, Germany, again, just like the malt, from everywhere. This is one of the coolest areas in the brewery, especially in the summertime, literally. Over here is another cool piece of equipment. It's our grain mill. And we'll take the sacks and it's milled through this mill into this hopper, kind of a holding area for grain. Holds about 600 pounds, which is a considerable amount of grain, but it's only about half the batch that when we make a beer, so we have to do it twice. Then the grain gets distributed up through this pipe right here. It turns and it just draws the grain up into this vessel here, which is called a mash tun. So the grain comes up through here, it goes through this muffler looking item, which we call a hydrator. The dry grain comes in through that and water is injected through the side at the same time, and that's called hydrating the grain. A lot of people like to say that this is sort of like a tea bag concept. There are solids in here that get separated. The liquid goes through these slots. The solid material is retained, the grain. We'll let it rest for approximately 60 minutes. And at that time, all the starches in the grain get converted to sugars. And then we're transferring it through the piping into this kettle. We have the beer or the wort boiling in there. You're adding your hops at various times depending on the recipe. It's just like cooking. Different recipes, you add hops at a different time. We let the wort settle after 60 minutes. We let it rest and we whirlpool it inside that kettle. And it settles all the material in the middle of the kettle. So we can take it out of there without taking the material out. So after we get done resting and whirlpooling and all of that, we go through this very important piece of equipment. This is a plate heat exchanger. This item right here brings the boiling material down to 73 degrees. So this is the hot side. Now we're gonna move to the cold side. After our beer is done boiling and it's chilled through that plate, we pump it into one of these vessels. This is made this way for a reason, because it all goes down to the center. In this cone, you're going to have hop particulates, protein particulates, and a lot of yeast. They're called unit tanks because the entire process happens in one vessel. Primary fermentation, 4 or 5 days. Secondary fermentation, maybe 10 days, and then some aging or clarifying. The other cool thing that most people like is alcohol is produced. That's why we drink beer. Thanks folks for coming into Broad Brook Brewing Company. We appreciate visitors. Come on down, have a beer. We look forward to seeing you.
Broad Brook Brewing offers 4 year-round beers, as well as several seasonals, and their limited edition Tobacco Valley series.
We brew what we like to drink, essentially. The number of the ones that are on tap now or throughout the year have all been done through our testing phases when we were home brewing. We started developing the IPA stronger than what we had originally. So our Hopstillo IPA, we brewed that here for the first time in this facility, as well as Gigawatts, our double IPA. Rough Guy Rye IPA is another one that we brewed in this place for the first time as well. So we've expanded it a little bit from what we had originally did all our testing with, but not a whole lot, because once we started producing it, the demand was there, and we just had to keep making so much of those beers that we have not had the time or capacity to play. And that's what we really look forward to doing.
Speaking of play, it's time for Guess that beer.
Guess that beer. Guess that beer.
I think we're all gonna walk out of the room, man.
First up, Broad Brook Ale, a traditional extra special bitter exhibiting a rich copper color with caramel malt character balanced by a pleasant hop aroma.
Ready?
I would say that's no BS Brown.
That's Homewrecker.
You're both wrong.
Really? It's dark, I can tell you that. It's Broad Brook Ale.
You got that one.
Next, Homewrecker Holiday Ale, a seasonal beer with a light roasty scent with hints of caramel and coffee. The dark brown pour fades into a beautiful mahogany at the bottom of the glass.
All right, you drinking already, Stan?
I'm trying now, I'm smelling it.
Wow, not really good at this game.
I need some more.
It's malty.
It is. What else we got that's malty?
I don't know. It's not Homewrecker.
It's got to be a Homewrecker then.
And for the tiebreaker, a special release, Gigawatts, a full-flavored American double IPA hopped with Simcoe, Amarillo, Cascade, Citra, and Galena.
Good luck, Stan.
That's either Chickawaws or hops. Yeah, that's Gigawatts.
Okay.
Now to challenge the winner, here's Jody, one of Broad Brook's beloved bartenders.
We still have the same beers on tap, right?
They start with Dark Star, an IPA with a variety of pale and dark malts. Northwest American hop presence is well balanced to give the beer an intense flavor and aroma.
No BS.
Nope. Porter. Nope.
Well, that doesn't feel so bad now.
I give up.
It tastes like a dark one. Dark Star. All right. I just said, is there anything new on the board?
I don't drink much, so you got to give me a break at this.
Next up, No BS Brown Ale, a Northern English ale that is brewed with a perfect blend of hops and malt. The malt flavor is sweet and nutty with pleasant hop bitterness.
This is gonna be fun. All right.
Why can't you give me something hoppy so I can smell it?
No BS Brown. It's one of my favorites.
We started in Broad Brook, that's where Tom's house is. Broad Brook, as well as most of this area, is known as tobacco and both shade and broadleaf tobacco farming. So his house is surrounded by barns and a tobacco field and stuff, so it was natural that since we identify with that so much, that we used that as the logo, and that's how we built like the tap room and everything we built in that same fashion. We just want to have a nice friendly atmosphere here, so I mean that's the way we built this place. From the outside when you walk in, you don't think that you're going to walk into what is actually here, which is more rustic and just very comfortable and so it's a very social setting. We don't have a ton of TVs around. We're not trying to be, some type of, I'm not going to say a sports bar, but it's place for conversation, a place that people can really come in and enjoy and have a couple of beers. We wanted to feel like you were at the farm or stuff like that. So we actually, a lot of this wood is reclaimed from one of the guys out back, Stanley. His family owns a farm in Broad Brook, and they had a barn that fell down. So they're like, when we're doing this, he's like, well, I got a whole pile of wood. Let's go over there and see what we can come up with. And we took all the aged wood that you see out of there, out of a pile, came here, and we all put our tool belts on and went to town. We built this place ourselves. Other than getting a couple of contractors that we had to have for plumbing, electrical and stuff. But I mean, the carpentry work, all this stuff, we all did this all ourselves. This was a complete empty space. The entire space that you came through was just a shell, and that was it. And then in about 6 months, it went from an empty shell to everything you see here.
Now that we've tried all the beers, I'd say we're pretty much experts on everything Broad Brook Brewing.
I agree. I think we should see how much the crowd knows.
Question 1. When did the brewery open? What year? What year? We're looking for what year?
2013.
This one's a little bit tricky. Who's doing it? You are? Okay. Say Broad Brook Brewing 5 times fast.
Broad Brook Brewing 5 times fast.
What she said.
That was awesome.
Wow, you got me. That was a good one. Okay.
Broad Brook Brewing, 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 Broad Brook Brewing.
Wow, that was pretty good. Here's your big bucks.
What is the strongest beer that they offer here?
Gigawatt Steeple? Gigawatt Steeple. Yeah, that's what I said.
We got a winner! All right, you guys are gonna be rich because you just won a big buck.
How many owners does Broad Brook Brewing have?
3.
Woo! She got it! All right.
So much.
Broad Brook Brewing has 4 year-round beers. Can you name one of them?
Broad Brook Ale.
Ooh, she got it! You just won big bucks!
Thank you! Oh my God, it's actually chocolate! That's awesome!
Only 3 years in, the owners of Broad Brook Brewing already feel the need to expand.
Our goal was to brew 800 barrels that first year, and we ended up brewing 1,500 barrels. So the demand was there, definitely, and we just hit the ground running really hard because before we opened, we did as many tasting events and everything that people would allow us to do, especially as home brewers, just getting the word out there. So when we opened our doors, we were known already to some degree. That just opened the floodgates, and we just pressed on really hard. Went into distribution a month and a half later after we opened. So we had the tap room first and then the distribution started. By spring of the following year, 2014, we started putting our beer in cans, which opened the market up even more and spread it out even faster. At first we were using a mobile canning unit that would come in and can our beer, and then they come about every 4 or 5 weeks. By August, we purchased our own canning machine and had it up and running by September. So now we fully do all our own production here as far as canning. In the first 3 years, we go from 0 to a little over 3,000 barrels a year. It has taken off a lot faster than we thought it would. You're doing your business plans and projections and all that kind of stuff. You get an idea, or you think you have an idea where you're going, and well, that just throw that in a trash can. Year one, we're like, no, we're already way past that. We're in so much demand for production. That's the biggest thing why we need to move, because we can't expand any further than the space we have. We're in the middle of designing. We're going to be building a brand new facility from the ground up starting in the spring. So we're going to double the size of our production. We have a 15-barrel system right now. We're going to put a 30-barrel system in. All the tanks are going to get a lot bigger. Right now we have capacity for about 5,400 barrels a year. The new facility will have about 12,000 barrel annual capacity over there. In addition to that, differences, tap room will be about 30% larger than this. We are going to put in a small kitchen. We're going to have entertainment. We'll have outdoor seating. We're really trying to make that more of a destination kind of a place. After 3 years of being here, we realized what we can do and want to do and kind of the direction we need to go. So when we've been designing this, we've been trying to incorporate all those different aspects into it to build what we want. At least I know for me and myself and partners and stuff, you do everything you can to make sure that everything's as right as possible, and just make the best product we can with what we have to work with. It's an enjoyable kind of business because you get to see firsthand people enjoying something that you've made from scratch. So that part's really rewarding as well.
Well, there you have it, the story of Broad Brook Brewing.
Thanks for joining us on our adventure to learn more about the ales in our area.
I thought that was good. You did it. That was kind of corny. Woohoo! Hopefully our microphone works.